This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis Ferreira, Margaret, Big C, Bennett Williamson, Dylan C, Hannah Green, Noralia, Jordan Gower, Geof Searles, Erik Reed, Greysin Ishara, and Ashlee Bradley. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Ashlee Stahl to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We really, truly could not do this without you. In this episode, we are talking about Chapter 8 of The Gathering Storm.
Yeah, Chapter 8 is Clean Shirts.
Clean Shirts.
Yeah. It's, okay. There's different segments to this chapter?
Yes, yeah. It's broken down into acts.
Right, yes.
Different
okay.
scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a very exciting chapter title.
No. I don't know. I liked it, though. It's a good chapter.
Yeah. No, we don't often get to see inside Swan's head.
No, almost never.
Yeah, and we get to see some progression in the relationship
Ooh,
status,
the
I suppose.
romance.
Yeah.
And I'm also a fan of the fact that this is the 8th episode of Season 12, and we're on Chapter 8.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
I was worried about that because apparently I messed that up pretty bad last book for you.
I
so.
know, I didn't like it.
We'll see. I don't know if it's going to keep going well, though, because we're going to do double chapters.
It's not going to go well. But for this episode, I'm happy.
All right. So I figured since this was like a Swan-centric chapter, I should do a little bit of digging into stuff that Swan likes.
Sure. Fish. Is it fish?
It's not fish. It's not fish.
It's fishing?
It's weather and the sky.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, sure.
Because, the Dockmaster sky, that's like the intro.
Do you know why she likes the sky, though? Because of fishing.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got some information here. So I want to do a little bit on this because I figured, hey, maybe there's something like real about this. And it's kind of funny because this is one of those things where I was like, ooh, is this like a fantasy thing?
Yeah.
Like Dockmaster is a real thing.
Yeah. Well, my mom is from Newfoundland.
Right.
And she used to say, pink sky at night, sailors delight. Pink sky in the morning, sailors take warning.
Yeah, it
was like a saying.
It's a pretty common one, and it's red sky sometimes too. I looked it up. I was I was doing a little bit of Googling, so here we go. Anyways, I know the first question.
Even though she's from Newfoundland, her entire personality isn't fish.
No, that's true.
Swan,
okay.
Her entire personality is just fish.
Yeah. Don't ask her about getting screeched in, though. So.
Oh, goodness.
Anyways, then it is about fish.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Just kissing one.
Exactly.
And drinking rum, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a combination.
Yeah.
So the whole backstory we get with this whole Dockmaster sky here is described in the first scene. We get the description that the clouds mean it could be good weather, could be terrible, and since the Dockmaster charges fishing boats a fee when the weather is good, and they don't charge the fee when the weather is too bad to go out, so basically you don't have to pay and not make any money today. On days like this, you have to take the chance on going out to work and fish, because you're going to get charged the fee regardless, and you might get caught in the storm. So basically the clouds favor the Dockmaster because they're charging the fee, and these clouds and weather patterns are really hard to read. So the first question obviously is like, hey, is a Dockmaster a real position? Yes, it is. I had to look up this first. I had to. So the Dockmaster is a person in charge of the dock used for freight, logistics, ship maintenance. Typically, they'll have a team who they work with to manage what's happening throughout the day. And I know you're probably wondering, like, hey, is that the same thing as a harbor master? No, it's different. The harbor master, yeah, that's the official who's responsible for enforcing regulations that go on in the harbor.
Well, of course.
Yeah, yes, so two different things here. Mm-hmm. Now, this was the tricky part, and this is one of those things where I do like way too much research, and I use research very lightly, but like I do too much reading,
too much Googling,
and I don't actually learn anything, so I don't really have anywhere to go except for this. In order to be able to read clouds and determine weather, you don't have to be a meteorologist. You just have to learn some basic knowledge about clouds. Mm-hmm. The fact that there's like 14 cloud species, 9 varieties of clouds, and around 6 main anomalies of clouds.
Well, when I teach grade 5, you only teach 4 types.
Right.
So...
Okay. The only thing that I actually could attach onto for my brain, because I always did really bad in this subject. Like I could never understand it. Even as
cumulonimbus.
So cumulonimbus clouds, those are the only ones that can produce hail, thunder, and lightning. They're the ones that are like the big, mean, worst kind that do all the bad stuff. And that's all I learned, unfortunately.
That's it?
That's it. I couldn't, there was like a whole thing. It was like, oh, it's really easy. Here's all about clouds. But like, I don't know. So looking up at the sky, I even tried to go to the book and like look at what the clouds are described as. And I don't think it's actually as accurate as they could be about what types of clouds they are.
Oh, yeah. We definitely don't get cloud description.
Yeah, there's
just
no
that
like,
it's
oh,
overcast.
are they high and wispy or are they like low and big and fluffy? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're probably low.
Anyways,
it's probably overcast.
So here's just a teensy little bit more about Swan. So apparently Robert Jordan originally played around the idea with Moraine becoming the Amyrlin seat, but then he scrapped that and then basically split off an aspect of Moraine's personality and created Swan with it.
Interesting.
So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities in the characters.
Remember when I had a brief moment when I was like, maybe Moraine will be the next Amyrlin seat?
Yeah.
Not 100% wrong.
Not
is what you're telling
totally
me.
wrong, possibly.
How about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it. Clouds are hard to read. I simply wouldn't be a fisherman.
No.
There you go.
Oh, is that what you're getting at?
That's the lesson here.
Yeah. Also, no to meteorology for you.
No, couldn't do it. Unless I work for like the weather station, because then it doesn't matter. You just guess.
You just read the teleprompter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I can read a teleprompter.
You're going to offend a lot of meteorologists with that comment. I think they actually do the work.
Do they?
I'm pretty sure. I think so. Like, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure.
And what about the people who are reading the news? They didn't research the story. I bet other people do that.
But sometimes they do.
Oh, do they?
Sometimes they do, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this industry.
Different segment for a different episode, not today.
Huh.
We got to talk more about weather, fish, and or swan.
Okay. Next time I interact with a TV personality from
do
the
you actually
news,
do work?
Yeah. Well, one of them came in to read to our class at our school one time for reading week, but I'll ask next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the chapter.
Sure.
Clean shirts.
Before we talk about the chapter, can I talk about this chapter symbol?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What?
This is good.
It's a crazy weird one.
Yep.
It's a bunch of mice.
It is. It's 6 mice, in fact.
Why? Why mice?
Well, because Swan, there's a thing. There's a whole callback to New Spring. So this is not a new chapter symbol, technically. This is exactly the same as last time.
Okay.
Where it's not new, but it is new. If you haven't read New Spring, but if you have read New Spring, then it's not new. Because it was in New Spring.
Okay.
And the reason why there's like a big callback here is because, spoilers for New Spring, Swan and Moraine get raised to become Aes Sedai. If you didn't know, they're both sisters.
Oh, yeah.
And on the night before they actually like get into becoming the Aes Sedai, like they had like that night before or whatever, they play one final prank on Elida
And put mice in her bed.
And put mice in her bed. And then in this chapter, Swan is really pissed off with Gareth Brin, and she's like,
I'm gonna
you know what I should do?
mice in his bed.
I'm going to put mice in his bed. And like the last sentence of the chapter is like, maybe no mice this time.
Right, yeah, because she lures him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that Elida was justified in everything she's done to Swan,
but it's pretty much because there was mice.
It's the mice thing, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's why there's mice.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason.
I mean, well, what else do you want?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Something more metaphorical, you know?
Oh, yeah, okay, I get that too. No, this is literal.
Like the last one was like, the unraveling of the weaves of time.
Yeah.
This is like, nah, just mice.
Well, and the reason why there's 6 is because in New Spring, she had acquired 6 mice.
Had she? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay,
Anyways,
cool.
okay, that's
it?
Yep.
Well, we are going to enter with Swan. This is her perspective, her chapter, and she is still in the rebel Aes Sedai camp. And this is where she's looking up at the sky and thinking about the clouds.
Yeah. You know, it's also a bit of a metaphor, though, right? Because it's the whole, how are things going with the rebels? Like, things could be going great, but it could all, like, crash down around them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is the metaphorical side of the clouds.
That's true.
Yeah. Much like the whole storm thing. Like, yeah, sure, there might be a storm, but it's like, there's also a storm.
The storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we get it. Okay, we are going to get quite a bit of a recap about what's going on in the Aes Sedai camp.
Yeah, the who's who and where's what.
And where's who, and there's novices all over the place.
Oh my goodness, all that stuff.
What's going on?
There's like 1,000 of them now. Crazy.
Yeah. Now, Lelaine.
Right.
Not Lelani.
Right. Now, do you remember who Lelaine is?
Lelaine is...
No, don't look at your book, just for memory.
Brett.
You can do this.
Okay, well, I know that it's her and Romanda who are like fighting each other.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that Lelaine is the blue and Romanda's the yellow.
Awesome, good job.
And they're both sitters in the hall here.
Yeah, they're basically the ones who are like duking it out for supreme authority if and or when Egwene is gone forever.
Yeah.
And they were trying to get the, power before Egwene was even in the picture.
That's true, they were fighting.
They're the two.
Okay. But yeah, Lelaine is here because she was a blue and her and Swan were friends beforehand.
Yeah.
In the before times, so...
Exactly. And now Lelaine is trying to kind of use Swan to not just get information, but to be seen talking with Swan and gaining information and acting all uppity about everything. That's kind of the premise of this chapter here.
Yeah, so we get that they're walking through the camp together, and Swan tries to talk about the clouds, and Lelaine's like, I don't want to hear about the stupid clouds. So then...
Not like that other Aes Sedai. When Nynaeve was talking, it was like, how long have the clouds been here? I don't know, maybe a week? I don't know, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not that crazy. It's like, we don't want to talk about weather anymore.
No clouds.
Yeah.
So then Lelaine starts asking questions about how negotiations are going with the tower, and Swan's like, not good, because everyone knows that they're stupid and fake, and they're never going to go anywhere.
They're not real. So Elida's side doesn't actually promise anything, and we don't have anything to give them. We don't want to give them anything.
And they're pretty sure Elida hasn't actually given any authority to this negotiating party to actually promise anything anyway.
Yeah, so they can't do anything. So this is all just like a big there was a word for it, and I can't remember.
It
was like a very specifically,
I know,
it's like
and
a
I
fake...
looked it up, and I was like, ooh.
I can't remember what it was.
Fake meeting.
Fake meeting word.
Yeah.
That's what it... Whatever. That's what it is.
We didn't learn our vocabulary.
No, we learned it in the moment, but we didn't retain anything.
I didn't repeat it again. That's the problem.
Anyways.
But then this is really when we learn what Lelaine is up to.
Yeah. Yeah, she wants to be seen supervising everything. She doesn't actually want to take an active hand, so she doesn't attend meetings. She just is seen supervising afterwards to gain information. And that's what all good leaders do. You never do your actual, your own stuff.
No.
You just supervise other people doing the actual work.
Is that how
that's
you
what
be a
I've
leader?
learned. Yeah.
Okay. Well, she's also on purpose being very loyal to Egwene.
Yes.
And telling everybody about how we're upholding what Egwene is saying.
Yeah, and she's like nice to novices and stuff.
Yeah.
She's like overly kind.
Specifically because Romanda hates the novice thing, and Lelaine is on the opposite side of whatever Romanda says.
Yeah, they are on the opposite side. So, and Egwene's all nice to everybody. It's like, gross. Don't be nice to gross novices and stuff, because Romanda...
Well, they're grandmas.
Well, and Romanda's
they're way
like...
too old to be novices. They should have never been in the novice book.
Romanda wants to get them all out of here as soon as they can.
Yeah.
So now it's like there's two sides, two factions here,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Romanda's side is not doing as good as Lelaine's.
No.
Okay.
Because, Lelaine is doing better.
She is. There are some asterisks to that, and we can talk about that when we get there.
Okay. But my favorite part of all of this is how Swan is now weak in the power.
Right.
And so Lelaine is kind of treating her like she's dumb and doesn't know anything.
Yeah, that's
also...
also...
Instead of really recognizing, all of the experience that she does, and knowledge that she does have.
Oh, yeah, and we've seen this before. It's like Swan
with
was known
Corel,
as...
right?
Yeah, exactly. But we've seen it with Swan also thinking about this, how she was like this huge, gigantic political maneuvering force in the tower, and people are like, whoa, like she can twist anything anyway and get anyone on her side.
Yeah.
But now she's weak in the power, and they're like, no, she's stupid, and she's just a moron now.
Yeah.
It's hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Weak in the power, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Which is a
you
terrible
must not
system.
know anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you clearly don't, so it doesn't matter. So that's what she thinks about this chapter too, is like, hey,
I'm going to use this to my advantage.
Exactly, which is exactly like the Corel thing.
That's exactly what she does.
Yeah. Still a terrible system, but like
Yeah.
you gotta work within the system, I suppose, as much as you can.
I mean, I guess.
If you can't change it, you gotta work in it. So
Yeah. Okay. So Lelaine's whole plan. This is what she wants.
right.
She tells Swan that they should start sending Aes Sedai to the nations that Rand hasn't conquered yet, because they should still be doing their Aes Sedai political shenanigans,
Right.
even with the tower broken.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. The problem here is like the ones that Rand hasn't conquered, the Shanshan have, right? Like,
Yeah.
What are we gonna? Where are we sending? Like
Andor. Like,
what are we doing here?
yeah, Eridoman, a mess.
Yeah, and even Andor, it's like, nah, that's his girlfriend.
Exactly.
Like, that's
no, what are you going to political maneuver in Andor?
Yeah, it doesn't...
I guess.
Yeah, anyways. This is, again, it's just like, yeah, Aes Sedai are going to Aes Sedai, and they think they're ahead of the game.
The Borderlands, where there's no
Yeah, they're not even there anymore.
There's no leaders in any of the borderlands.
Yeah. So, I mean, okay, good luck. It's a plan. But that just kind of speaks to the whole, like, rebel camp and the Aes Sedai in general. It's like, they're literally doing nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening here.
Yeah. Yep.
And like you were saying, Ramonda's going to be against anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what Swan points out. And it's like, hey, well, she plants the little seed. Like, Ramonda was talking with some sister we haven't heard of, who's a distant cousin of the Trakan line. And it's like, that's how Swan is trying to maneuver Lelaine into getting distracted with her whole, like, takeover with Ramonda.
Okay, so just to clear up what you just said,
right,
to make sure I know what's going on and everybody else does, Lelaine's plan is clearly to become the new Amyrlin.
Yeah.
If Egwene doesn't come back.
If and when, it's like, I'm the next best thing because I'm basically Egwene.
Yes. Okay, so that's her plan. And Swan's plan is to distract Lelaine from the Amyrlin takeover plan.
Yeah.
With dealing with Ramonda.
Yeah, like shit-talking Ramonda, basically. And be like, she's scheming.
Yeah, you better go deal with that.
Yeah.
Stop trying to take over Egwene's position.
Yeah, or at least just be, like, temporarily distracted in this next shiny new whatever. It doesn't matter. Swan's doing the best she can.
Yeah. Oh, I think so.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not a lot, unfortunately. She can't really do very much. But also, the Aes Sedai move at a snail's pace anyway, so, like, what are we waiting for here?
Yeah, not much.
Yeah.
But then that's the end of our scene 1.
Yeah, no, it's good.
They're gonna split off, and Swan's gonna head back over to the soldier camp, where she lives there.
Yeah.
She lives in the soldier camp in Brin's tent.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're just friends.
Yeah. Oh, at one point, Lelaine is gonna be like, hey, you probably shouldn't wash his clothes anymore. Right. I can get you out of doing that.
It looks bad on Aes Sedai everywhere.
And then Swan's like, no, I want to do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, don't do it. Don't say anything. I'll keep doing it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because she gets, like, overly flustered a whole bunch this chapter thinking about Gareth Brin.
Yeah.
And then she tries to be like, I'm keeping an eye on him for his scheming. And it's like, whoa, I mean, he's not scheming. It's just he's, like, doing regular stuff. Not that he's, not...
Everything's fine.
He can do his job, but not too well, but not badly.
And I'm using it. I'm spying on him. So I can get other information in case.
Exactly. And then Lelane's like, yes.
Ah, yes.
Great sacrifice you were making. I will remember it.
Yeah. But you know what? That's what Egwene says to Dani when she's like, hey, you have to do all these things for me. And then she goes, I really appreciate all this work you're doing.
Yeah.
What a great sacrifice you're making for the Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Ned, that's the end of the scene now.
Yeah, no, that is. I forgot about that part.
Right.
All right, so Swan is going to make her way back towards the soldiers' camp by hitching a ride on the back of a turnip wagon, because why would she ever be caught bouncing around all indecent on the back of a horse?
Oh, exactly. And it's kind of funny because, like, the turnip cart is better for her than a horse.
Yeah.
Which is opposite than most people would think, probably.
She's like, I'll look so stupid on a horse, and I definitely don't look stupid sitting
just,
in
like,
a
hugging
turnip
the
wagon.
horse. I agree. All right. Turnip cart it is.
So now at this point, we are going to spend some time in Swan's thoughts.
Yeah, I actually like this.
Because she thinks back to her childhood in Tyr.
Yeah, this is sweet.
And her early morning fishing trips with her father. And now her life is so far different from that life, and she's only focused on one thing, and that's the Dragon Reborn.
Yeah, so this whole, like, thought process is taking us from where Swan was into the whole, like, can I have a relationship thing?
Yes.
And it just reminds me so much of, like, a terrible rom-com movie where it's like, ooh, big boss lady Swan Sanchez, the busy New York business lady.
Yeah. And she, like, moves back to her small
Moves back to her hometown over Christmas and then falls head over heels for a hunky hometown boy, Gareth Brin.
Yeah.
Who shows her it's not all about work and saving the world. So will Swan throw away saving the world for Gareth? Or is she going to learn how to balance both? It's just like, yeah, that's the story. We got to get from there to here. So, okay.
Yeah.
That's what Swan is realizing in this chapter.
Yeah.
Maybe there is time for a new relationship.
Maybe.
Yeah. It is much more heartfelt, too, because she's like, oh, Moiraine and I had the same cause, and she died.
And she died for the cause.
A lot of references to Moiraine dying for the cause in the last couple chapters.
Yeah.
You did point that out, and we just got it again here.
I know.
So. Okay.
Ugh.
She still
Are we
has
gonna
time.
get around to like even mentioning that we're gonna try to save her? Because that hasn't even been mentioned in a full book.
Matt's on his way. He's trying to get out of where he's at, so it's fine.
Well, I think he's out now. Rand saw him that he's out.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Probably.
Okay.
And then anyways, we get like more thoughts about her thinking, ooh, maybe I made a mistake choosing the blue Aja.
Yeah.
Because she wants to maybe be green, because only greens can do stuff with guys.
Which is, wild and stupid.
It's terrible, yeah,
like,
no,
what?
for sure.
Like, no, you shouldn't pick the battle Aja because you want to have a relationship.
Right.
That feels stupid.
With a man specifically, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a man specifically. You cannot have sex with a man
right.
unless you're of the green Aja.
And then you gotta do it with a bunch of them.
Right.
There's rules here. You gotta follow the rules. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, but don't worry about doing any battle or any planning literally ever.
Exactly.
So
they're worried about the last battle.
And not training for it at all.
It's never gonna come. Why would I train for something that never is gonna happen?
Okay, well, maybe she's gonna break all of the barriers here.
Yeah.
That's part of the holiday movie, I think.
Okay. It's good. Anyways, maybe Swan the Amerlin didn't have time for relationships.
But maybe this new Swan does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe.
Even if she's blue.
I guess.
All right. Well, now Swan is going to make it to Brin's tent, and he's inside reading reports by a candle.
Only one. He's going to ruin his eyes.
Oh, idiot.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I should have done my fun fact on that, because that's something that my mom always told me growing up. Like, you're going to ruin your eyes if you don't use enough light.
Oh.
And to be fair, my eyes are pretty bad now, so, like, maybe she was right.
Yeah. Mine was always don't sit too close to the TV.
Well, that too,
and you'll ruin your eyes.
Obviously.
But my eyes are just perfect. So.
And don't put your face so close to the microwave, you know?
Yeah, no.
Don't stare through the glass.
Yeah, I've never really been scared of microwaves.
Yeah, well, I'm not scared. I'm just telling you.
No, some people are, though. Some people are really worried about microwaves. I remember there was a lunch supervisor, and we'd all line up to use the microwave, with our Pizza Pops and our Mr. Noodles and whatever.
Yeah. It's like, that's going to kill you first before the microwave does.
Exactly. And we had to all, there was literally a tape line on the floor.
Yeah.
And she would freak out if, any kid went near the microwave while it was on, because it's not safe.
Right.
And so,
Okay.
I never bought into that.
Yeah. Weren't we just talking, too, the U.S. doesn't have Pizza Pops. We had mentioned Pizza Pops somewhere.
That's true.
They're the best. They're
so good.
The best thing ever.
They're like Hot Pockets, but better.
Yeah, they're the most processed food you're ever going to eat.
And you talk about hand pies.
Right.
It's like a little pizza hand pie.
Little pizza hand pie, little calzone, little pre-made, tiny frozen.
Little hand-sized calzone.
Yeah, you put it in the microwave and it gets burning hot on the outside and freezing cold on the inside.
Doesn't, no,
you gotta poke holes in it.
It's not quite like that. Yeah, it's better.
Anyways, okay, back to it.
Yeah, not a pizza on a stick.
No.
Pizza Pop.
No. Not on a stick. Okay, so Brin's gonna ruin his eyes, and they're gonna do some...
She lights a light for him.
Yeah. Is this flirting?
No, it's caring for somebody.
Well, it kind of sounds like it.
It's not flirty though.
Okay.
It's some of it's a little flirty, but the light thing.
Yeah.
That's just she cares for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's different than flirting, in my opinion.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I sure.
Anyway, Swan's just getting annoyed that he's not more annoyed at the things she's doing to annoy him.
Yeah, she hung up the laundry to dry inside the tent.
Yeah.
And then he didn't even comment on it. Yeah, he didn't care. And she's like, stupid.
Yeah. But then he says something about how some other lady approached him about offering laundry services because they've noticed how bad she is at laundry.
Say Swan's the worst.
And he's like, I told her no.
Okay, that's flirting.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. They do have a back and forth, and he even has the audacity to compliment her laundering skills.
Right, but he's honorable, so whenever he compliments people, he means it.
Yes,
and
sure.
He never ever condescending or sarcastic.
Never.
He means it.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not trying to be sarcastic.
I know, but you sound sarcastic like an asshole. Yeah.
That's just how I sound.
Yeah.
It's just my voice.
Sorry if it sounded sarcastic.
I can't even tell if it's sarcastic anymore. Anyways, we got to get to their conversation.
They're going to have a really good, actually meaningful, open, and honest conversation.
This is the big thing we're all here for.
This is the big thing.
Right.
So, Brin says, you never did explain to me why you broke your oath.
Yeah, like she gave excuses,
And
but
she's like, well, like I had to.
right. The same story that she's always
The
given.
Aes Sedai were in Saladar. We couldn't let Loghain run around free, and
I didn't technically lie.
yeah, because I didn't tell you when I would do the service, and you just expected me to do it immediately. And
Yeah.
blah blah blah. So he calls her out for all of that.
Yeah.
And
Because
he's like, I'm not buying it.
yeah, it's just the whole song and dance we've heard before between them. It's like, hey, you're not telling.
I'm
you're telling
not
the truth, but
satisfied
yeah.
with your truth.
yeah. So we got to go.
Tell
we
me
gotta
more.
Go full truth time here.
So Swan finally bites the bullet and tells Brin basically the whole entire story of how she was one of the 4 people present at the foretelling
Yeah.
of the birth of the Dragon Reborn.
Who are those 4 people?
Well, Gatara was
Yeah.
the foreteller.
She died immediately.
Moraine,
Yeah.
Swan,
Yeah.
and the Amyrlin, who died shortly after.
Whose name was?
Tamra.
Tamara. There you go.
Not Tarna.
No, Tamara.
Tamara.
Yes. And she was murdered by the Black Aja.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which she tells Brin.
Yeah, she does. It's like full truth time. This is the most truthiness that Swan has ever been with anybody.
Murdered by the Black Aja, and yes, it exists.
Yeah.
That's what she says to him.
Yeah.
And so Swan and Moraine are the only ones left in the whole world who aren't Black Aja, who know about Rand being born, and so they made it their lifelong mission to find Rand and see him through to the last battle.
And now she's the only one because Moraine's dead.
Yeah, and so she put off Brin's oath because her other oath supersedes his.
Yeah. She's got to do it. She's the only one.
She's got to do it.
Yeah.
And then Brin is like, well, you should have told me.
Yeah.
And Swan's like, really?
Yeah.
At the time? When you were like mad at me for like, I don't know, some cows died in a barn fire or something?
Yeah, exactly.
That was really Loghain's fault.
They're just like 3 random people.
Yeah.
Like with Loghain who
Yeah.
like ran off
And
at the
he's like,
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not. And she's like, plus I didn't trust you.
Yeah.
Why would I give you that information?
Yeah.
You also wouldn't believe who I was.
Yeah, like
So-
she knew him from
Yeah.
their previous encounters, but she like looked totally different. Like,
Which
totally,
wasn't 100% positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a completely different situation. So I absolutely agree with Swan, not like telling him all these crazy
Right.
things.
And she looks like some 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be like, no, I'm the Emerald Seat.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's like, what? No.
I just can't channel though.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't back then
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
She
That's
was
true.
stilled.
Yeah, so there's reasons, but
Yeah.
good on her for telling truth now. And I was actually just kind of thinking about this too, because yes, right now telling him the truth, maybe it is dangerous, but also probably not that dangerous anymore because
At this point,
no, because like Rand's out and about,
Yeah.
like everyone else is dead.
Everyone
basically.
knows Rand is a Dragon Reborn.
Yeah,
It's not
like-
like that's a secret.
You're not gonna get in more trouble. You already got deposed.
Yep.
Like you're pretty much good.
Well, and he's fighting for the Aes Sedai
Yeah,
on this side of
on the rebel
Things.
faction. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So like at this point, this is all pretty safe information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Okay.
But then Brin starts to say, well, maybe I don't need to hold you to this work anymore.
Right. Maybe we're done with
Maybe
the laundering.
we're done with this. And she's like, nope, shut up about it. Shut up about it. Don't even say it.
Yeah.
Because she wants to keep doing it.
She wants to. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Does she just want to stay close to him? Is that the kind of idea here?
maybe.
She doesn't. I can't
Yeah.
imagine she wants to actually do the laundry,
No.
but she just wants to like pay off the debt.
Yeah,
She wants to like actually do what she said she was gonna do.
maybe.
Okay.
I think that she just wants to be close to him.
All right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair too.
There might be other reasons. Like maybe she actually does want to find out more about different things and,
Sure.
I don't know,
Yeah.
stay away from the other Aes Sedai. Because if she's not,
Here.
yeah. Because she
She's gotta be
just
somewhere
told
else.
Lelaine, no, don't cancel my debt because she likes being close to Brin.
Yeah.
Later
Yeah,
this
that's true.
chapter, she admits she's in love with him.
Yeah.
So,
She said might.
yeah. Oh,
Might be in love.
Uh-huh.
Jump of the gun here.
Okay.
All right. Now Gareth Brin has to compare her to a boar.
Okay.
Because he's like, oh, if I had known you were Aes Sedai, and she's like, hey, well, you wouldn't have changed anything. And he's like, yeah, but I wouldn't have gone. Well, it was like hunting boars with a rabbit knife instead of a spear.
Uh-huh.
So he's like implying that she's a boar. So,
Okay.
anyways, it's
That's
just
not a very nice thing to call a lady.
no, it's not. Boars can be ladies. I think.
There are lady boars.
I think so, right?
Yeah, but like if you compared me to a boar,
Yeah.
like that's not a nice thing to compare me to.
Well, unless you want to be big and ferocious.
I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, some people might.
Some people might.
Okay, big
I'll take
tusks.
that back.
Yeah.
Some people might like being compared to a boar. I don't think Swan does.
Okay.
But
I just looked something up here.
Yeah, what?
Because I wasn't sure.
Uh-huh.
So a boar refers to the masculine gender of the wild pig, and a gilt refers to the feminine gender of the boar.
Okay.
So it's a gilt, not a boar.
Ooh.
He
like
compared her
G-I-L-T?
G-I-L-T, yeah.
Hmm.
But also I think gilts are called wild boars. Anyways, it's not completely... Anyways.
You know what I do want to talk about?
Yeah.
Brin says to Swan, shouldn't you be going to bed? Every third day you go to sleep super early wearing that weird ring you hide between your cushions.
Yeah, I love it too. He totally calls her out here.
And she's like, how do you know? Stop spying on me.
Specifically, he's like, say hi to the Amyrlin for me.
Yeah.
And that's the big indicator. And she's like, whoa.
How do you know what I'm doing?
Yeah. Does he know about Tel'aran'rhiod?
No.
No, he can't.
He can't.
No.
But he made some sort of guess that the ring and the schedule and whatever...
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, like...
leads to communicating with Egwene.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. It's like the assumption... Like, he's not going to assume that the power can or can't do something. It's like, yeah, why can't you communicate while you sleep?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't seem that crazy when you're like, the power is literal magic.
Yeah, it's magic.
Yeah.
It's literal magic.
So he's just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And she's like, insufferable man.
Yes.
I'll have to do something. Mice in the bed sheets. That would be good payback.
There you go. That's the callback.
That's it.
Okay. Got it.
All right. Now, before we head into Tel'aran'rhiod, I think this is time to take a break.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll be right back.
All right.
All right, so we're back, and Swan is going to crawl into her bed, even though she's mad at Brin. She turns her back to him and takes a while to fall asleep, but eventually she does, and she wakes up in Tel'aran'rhiod wearing a super scandalous outfit.
Because she's thinking about Gareth Brin.
Ooh.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. And she thinks about how she's really bad at controlling herself and her clothes and things that in Tel'aran'rhiod.
Yeah.
And she's like, it must be this inferior...
Yeah, the knockoff Terangriel.
The knockoff generic brand ring.
That's why.
Because Egwene is so good at it.
If she had name brand stuff, she would be better.
Way better.
That's how it works. She nailed it. She got it 100% right.
Yeah.
Anyways, then she changes her scandalous outfit to a green dress. And she's like, why'd I choose? Why is it green?
And so she focuses to make it blue.
Yeah.
And then she zaps herself over to the Mistress of Novices study in the tower and waits for Egwene.
Yep. So, as is tradition, this is a place where we've met before.
Always.
And we continuously meet the same place all the time.
The same place, every time.
Okay. Just for if you were counting how often, it's always. They always be in the same places.
Yeah, but don't worry. When we show up here, Egwene will immediately change the location.
Right.
That's safe.
That's the safest way to do it.
Yeah. But before Egwene shows up, Swan starts thinking about how Lyanna is doing because Elida's crazy and could execute her at any point.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we got to get her train of thoughts here.
Yeah, how her own warder was murdered, and Elida probably doesn't even care about that.
Yeah.
And she's right.
Yep. That gets her to basically bleed into the next scene where when Egwene shows up, she pops in always at the worst time, and Swan is holding a bloody sword.
Thinking about Elida.
Exactly. She was just thinking about the whole death of her warder and all that stuff. So it makes sense. We had to get there mentally of why she's picking up all these, cool weapons and stuff. So
sure.
Makes sense.
Okay. So they talk briefly, and then Egwene's like, I don't want to meet here. Meet me in the novices' dining hall. And then they both zip-zap over there.
Poof. There you go.
So Swan starts off this meeting by mentioning that they should start having meetings more frequently because a lot of things are going down.
Yeah, stuff is happening fast. And if it's every 3 days, that's a lot of time if things are happening.
There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
So this is interesting for us in terms of timeline, right? Because...
Sure, why?
If they're meeting every 3 days, we can assume that within the past 3 days... Loghain showed up, right?
Yeah.
And they found out about Halima. That whole thing went down. Because
it wasn't Loghain, and that was Narishma, wasn't it?
Oh, Narishma.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't Loghain. It was Narishma. I'm thinking Ashraman.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. It was Narishma, and that's when he tells the story about the cleansing.
Yeah.
And the woman who can channel Saidin, and then the finding out about Halima, because Swan is just relaying this information to Egwene now.
Yeah, so it had to have happened within the last 3 days.
In the last 3 days.
Makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so the breakdown that she gives her, again, she's full transparency here. She doesn't really hide any information, which is good. There was a Forsaken in the camp. Ramonda made the connection between all the murders. It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
what's the connecting dot here? And then the suspect is either Delana or more likely Halima. And then that's when Egwene's like, hey, well, Anaya was killed by a man. And then Siuan kind of leads into the whole, hey, apparently she wasn't murdered by a man, but by a woman using saidin. And Egwene kind of like starts to agree with that.
Nod along.
Yeah.
But her eyes do widen at the suggestion of Halima being a Forsaken.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, that was your attendant, and she was around you all the time, and
Giving
she gave you the...
headaches and compelling you.
Which one's the Forsaken?
Yeah.
The one giving you the massages
Yeah.
all the time.
You know how you haven't had headaches since you've been away from
Right.
the camp?
It wasn't just Halima's
How
magical
about
fingers.
that? Yeah.
Yep. Okay, there we go. So anyways, then we get the whole backstory where it's like, hey, they escaped the same day we discovered them. And they figure it must be related to Delana being at the meeting when the Ashaman announced that he could sense male channeling in the camp. And then Delana ran off unexpectedly.
Oh, how did they
Whoa.
even suspect Delana?
Yeah. And then the Ashaman told a story about the fact that they encountered the woman who could use saidin. And it's a whole big info drop on an event. We saw that.
We saw it happen.
We saw all of this happen. So it's not new to
like,
us.
It's just this kind of clever way to do a recap.
Yeah.
Is to inform another character.
Yes.
In the book of what's going on.
Exactly. So we get to see Egwene learning about it, and then
and
Siuan.
we get to see her reaction to it.
Yeah.
Which is a fun way for us to get a recap.
Yeah, and Siuan's reaction to the reaction of Egwene, and
Sure.
Siuan's like, she's a good Amerlin or something.
Okay.
She's doing good.
That's right. Because this leads to the next topic, because Egwene wants to know, why was there an Ashaman in the camp?
Right. Yes.
And Siuan's like, well,
That.
about that.
Okay.
Yeah. He was sent by Rand because some Ashaman have bonded Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
And Egwene is not a fan of this. And she thinks Rand is like so reckless.
Oh, yeah.
And why would Rand give permission to commit such an atrocity?
And who gave Rand permission to even do that? And it's like, no, nobody gave him permission. Like,
Yeah.
he's the Dragon Reborn. He can do whatever he wants the same way Aes Sedai can do whatever they want because you just do whatever you want.
Right. And he also probably didn't know it was happening.
Oh, yeah. It had nothing to do with him.
Because the women that were bonded were sent by Elida to destroy the Black Tower.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, okay.
So,
Yeah.
like, that's a problem.
I like how Siuan kind of backs it. He was like, well, to be fair, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't even know about it. Like,
Yeah. And when he did find out about it, he sent 47 Ashaman to be bonded as restitution.
Yeah. Kind of, sort of.
like, okay, well, I guess that was the right call.
Yeah. That the Hall agreed to it, too.
Yes.
It's like, you're going to be so uptight about this and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to bond them.
Yeah.
It's like, why obviously, though? Like, why is this the obvious thing we're for sure doing?
Yeah. But then also, don't worry, because saidin is cleansed.
Right.
And Egwene says, yes, I can definitely see that as a real possibility.
It's so good. Yeah.
Which is just the icing on the cake for
I
Rand.
know. It's good.
It's like, nobody believes me.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
even her justification, though, she's like, okay, well, it's the whole opposites thing. So basically, after the War of Power,
Yeah.
everything was falling apart.
What's annoying me, though,
Yeah.
is that there's still no real connection to the I cleanse saidin. Remember when you could feel all of that power? Remember how the whole world could feel all of that power and all of it? We had to experience all of our main characters experiencing this whole huge power event.
Yep.
And if anyone was like, that was Rand cleansing saidin,
Yeah.
Egwene might be like, oh,
that makes sense.
oh, right.
Yeah.
You know how there's a big crater where Shatter Logoth used to be? That's where
Right.
he put the taint or whatever.
Yeah,
Like-
but yeah, on the opposite side of that, we're also getting the whole aspect of some characters describing it as, oh, the creator has like stepped in and he's doing us a big
but
one.
if-
Yeah.
Like that Ashaman who was there was like, this is where it took place and what was happening and when it happened. And then we could put like some puzzle pieces together.
Right.
And be like, oh, that was that huge event that we felt and we don't even know what it was.
Right.
Now that makes sense
Yeah.
and we can believe Rand.
Yeah, because they even sent a team to go and investigate
Yes.
that. So we should connect some dots.
We should do that.
That would be nice.
Yep, that would be nice.
It would be nice.
Okay, so Siuan is like, hey, what's the plan?
Yeah.
And Egwene is like, let the Hall deal with it because I have a mission.
Yes. New mission.
Yeah. And then Suan says that she's losing control of them, and Lelaine is setting herself up as a secondary Amyrlin by pretending to be supporting Egwene.
Yeah.
And Egwene is surprised that it's not Romanda who jumped all over this opportunity.
Yeah, which she did, but Romanda dropped the ball, apparently.
Well, I think that Romanda just took a different approach.
Yeah.
And Lelaine's approach is more effective.
Yeah,
right?
because Romanda's like, hey, I want to undo all the things that Egwene is doing, and Lelaine's like, no, I'm Egwene.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so that's a better approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because it's not like everybody's super pissed off about everything Egwene is doing.
Well, some people are.
Some.
There's still a lot of shock at the amount of novices,
but
and some people have a real problem with all the old people being novices.
Still the Amyrlin seat.
Yeah.
Right? So that's that thing.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, this is Egwene's justification for not being too concerned. We got two options here, because they both agree it's a good strategy for Lelaine, but option one is Egwene returns,
Yeah.
and then since Lelaine has been basically riding the coattails of Egwene, she's
pretending to be the most devout servant of Egwene's ever.
So she basically is going to have to follow through with continuing to be that person and supporting Egwene when she returns.
Or else it'll look bad.
Well, yeah, and it's not going to make any sense. Like, she'd lose support because, like, all this time you were talking to Egwene.
Yeah.
Now Egwene's back and you're like, no, me.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, and Egwene says, so when I return, she'll have to accept me and my leadership since she spent all her time talking about me.
Exactly. And it is kind of funny because Suan is very concerned that Lelaine is going to sabotage Egwene's return somehow.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, she's going to sabotage your plan to return. Egwene doesn't have a plan to return. There is no plan to return.
No.
At all.
She wants the rebels to just be able to come into the tower.
Yeah. Like, there is nothing. There's no, I'm going to escape. There's no, I'm trying to actively escape here.
No.
It's like she is hunkering down here.
She's trying to bring it down from the inside.
Yeah.
So that the rebels can just return to the tower.
Yeah.
And Egwene will be there to be raised, probably officially. She's like, I'm Amyrlin.
Yeah.
Maybe not even be raised, just like, I'm moving in.
Yeah.
Because now I'm Amyrlin.
I'm not raised. I'm already that person.
I'm already Amyrlin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
How do you do that?
Though, if Egwene doesn't return, then at least the rebels have a strong leader.
That's option two.
Yeah. So
Normanda dropped the ball, so Lelaine gets to be the next person.
Yeah.
So
now, finally, with their conversation coming to an end, Suan is saying mostly to herself that the last battle is really coming.
Yeah.
And she's going to have to face it with a fraction of her former strength in the power. And then Egwene is like, well, maybe we can find you an Angreal to use from the tower, since basically everything is going to have to be used against the shadow anyway.
Yeah.
And Swan's like, yeah, maybe, except I'm kind of learning to deal with my new situation.
Yeah.
It has some advantages.
Like, I get that for the political maneuvering side of things, but also, like, during the last battle, if you're, like, fighting with the like, get an Angreal. Like, it just, give yourself a little power boost. Don't be like, no, I don't need it. It's like, more fireballs is better than less,
and
right?
Realistically, if we can get some sort of communicating happening anywhere, we can find out that if she's healed in a different way,
right,
then she can have. But
then do you risk
it? So let's say she's stilled again.
Sure.
Healed by a man.
Right.
Because that's sort of the.
It's not sort of.
Algorithm we've determined.
That's not sort of. That's the algorithm.
Okay, so if she's healed by a man, does she regain her original strength?
That's the question.
Or does she just regain this level of strength?
I mean, I would argue that she would regain the original amount.
But she's still from this amount.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because you think of it like a bridge, right? You're building like a shitty bridge out of Saidar to heal what she was still.
What was severed?
Right?
Okay.
Right? So if you get cut off, if you get stilled, then you're basically having a woman heal you, having Nynaeve heal her. She's building a shitty bridge over that gap out of Saidar. You break that bridge away, you clear it out, right? And then you just rebuild a new fancy bridge out of Sidene.
Okay.
Right? So you'd be back to your original strength, vice versa with a guy, right? If a guy heals a guy, then you're going to be building a shitty bridge out of Sidene when you need to build a big, strong bridge out of Saidar. It's an opposites thing going on there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll take
it. But we're like, I know, this is like philosophy on the power. Would she risk it? I mean, being cut off again from the power,
Probably
maybe forever? Probably not.
Interesting, though.
Yeah. Anyways, Egwene needs some information here.
Oh, yeah, because she's going to ask about the room in the tower that has a bunch of objects of power. And so I was like, oh, yeah, in the second level of the basement. Can't miss it.
It's the only door with a lock.
Yeah.
So here's an issue. You want to hear the issue?
That's where the Black Aja hunters are using, right? That's their, location?
They're not hiding out in the same room
I thought that's where they were taking their people. That's where they're taking people.
Well, maybe they might be using some stuff from the supply room, but...
Oh.
But here's the real issue.
Oh.
So it seems like the Aes Sedai of the White Tower keep all of their objects of the power in a room that has a lock.
Yeah.
And we've seen Pad and Fane possibly going into this one.
Oh, yes.
And Alviarin being Black Aja, cut him off and had that weird interaction.
Yeah.
But with the last battle coming up, we know the Black Aja has stolen things from this room before.
Yes, yeah.
If I was the Black Aja, wouldn't you want to raid that whole storeroom before the last battle so the good guys can't get anything?
Yeah, but before the last battle, yeah. But right now, it's just sort of we know it's there, and maybe they're sneaking a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Because what they did, when those 13 left the tower...
Took a bunch of shit.
Took a bunch of stuff.
Whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so...
I feel like we should really have this under more than, a lock. There should be some sort of...
Especially when we know that already happened.
I know.
But the problem is everybody is in denial.
Yeah.
And the people who know that happened aren't even in the tower right now.
Right. Right.
Except for Egwene.
Right.
And I think that's maybe what she's gonna go try to do.
Yeah.
Unless...
She's gonna rob it.
she's gonna... Maybe, is she gonna go get the oath rod?
Why?
I don't know. Maybe she wants to swear on it, because it'll make her Aes Sedai. Real.
Really obsessed with this oath rod here.
Well, she really does want to be... that. She wants to. She says as soon as she has the opportunity, she's doing it.
Okay. Yeah.
What else could she want in there?
Balefire wand.
Yeah, that's the one.
Start Balefire. No? Okay,
yeah.
Another one of those ones.
Well, we need Egwene and Avienda. That's her talent, right? Avienda can just know what they all do?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need Avienda.
Need them all together here. Come on. Okay.
Okay. So now there's nothing left to report, and it's time for them to go back and get some sleep, but they decide that they're going to meet again in 2 days instead of 3, and that's it.
There we go.
There we go. Now, Swan wakes up and she gets changed into her sleeping gown and...
Yeah, the way Egwene and Swan ended that conversation was hey, is there any more remarkable news? And Swan's like, no.
No more remarkable news.
Right.
And then she's like, oh, except that I might be in love. Is that remarkable enough?
Oh my goodness.
But she thinks that to herself when she's awake.
Yeah.
She doesn't tell Egwene.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
And then she says, okay, this time I'll forget about the mice.
Yeah.
So she's not going to put mice in Gareth Brin's sheets.
Right.
Maybe
not this time.
Maybe she'll put a little Swan in there, though.
No.
No?
Not yet.
Okay, not too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Remember I thought they were already hooking up?
Yeah.
They
should have been.
They're not yet.
Yeah.
Slow burn.
Yeah.
On this one.
Okay.
A real long game. Playing the long game.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, there we go.
They seem to enjoy each other's company.
They do.
At least.
Yeah, that's important.
And there's trust.
Sure.
And
what else?
Lerv.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so next episode, I'm giving you 2 chapters.
Woo-hoo.
Chapter 9 and 10.
Nice.
All right.
9 and 10, you say?
Yes. Yeah.
Good. Good. Excited?
I'm excited.
Are you?
Yeah.
Good. Things get exciting?
It's going to start picking up.
Can't wait.
We got some things to do in this book.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to try not to freeze our little Canadian butts off.
Oh, yeah, it's minus
up here
50.
In our polar vortex.
Yeah, cars don't work, stuff like that.
Nothing works.
It's so cold, the cars just don't work.
They just don't. Even when you're like, hey, can you please work?
Yeah, they're like,
and
no.
They're like, not really. No. Okay, so before you go ahead and drop some big truth bombs on the man that you might be in love with, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Well, that's the end of another fun episode. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted and edited by Dani and Brett and produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Cody Fouts, Benjamin, Jamie Young, Megan, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Adam, Mozyme, Marta Thier, Michelle Forbes, MKM, Antoine Benoit, Lawrence Bradley, Colby T, and Gabby Young with music by Audionautics. Be sure to check out our Patreon page if you're interested in supporting us on the podcast. We'd love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you. Plus, you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 45 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. Find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses, how to join the Discord, or how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, please be sure to give us a 5-star review because it really does make a really huge difference in helping other people find us. And Tel'aran'rhiod because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks so much for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.